Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast, where we like to talk about sports from a positive angle. I'm your host this evening, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, my partner in crime, my buddy, my brother, Alex. How are you today?
What is up? I am doing effing great.
Effing great.
Effing great.
Watch your mouth, son.
PG, man. PG.
Are we PG?
No, far from it.
Okay. Then you're a fucking idiot for saying effing.
Well, thanks, dumbass. Look, we just
lost Sister Jean.
Oh my God.
Oh, he
Sister
lost her
Jean.
again. You can't say
We're definitely going to hell now. As if we weren't before.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Dude, I just came from Whataburger.
Oh,
yes.
love Whataburger.
And I'll tell you what, man. I was stuffed.
You can't say Whataburger. They're not a sponsor.
Whataburger.
What?
Well, maybe they will be now.
From a burger establishment with an orange W.
Hey, I dropped a major Mondoduke in your bathroom. You need better reading material. I mean, you have not one sports magazine in there.
It was in the bathroom, like, off the living room. It wasn't my bathroom, right?
It was whatever bathroom was closest at the time. Yeah, you need to work on your reading material, bro. That's like exclusive.
Well, that's a guest bathroom. We don't give a shit about you guys.
Well, that's effed up. So what's up, man? Let's get into it. We got a good show lined up for you guys today. Basketball talk. It's hot and heavy.
Ooh, sure is.
But before we get into it, make sure you guys check us out on YouTube. Like us, subscribe to us. Check us out on Twitter. We'll give you our contact on Twitter at the end of the show.
Give it to him now.
Well, fine. You can catch me on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho. You can catch my brother at eMontana21. Podbean, Google Play, iTunes, all that good stuff.
And you can email the show at positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. All right, so now that we got that all out of the way,
man, I think let's start with how we got to this point, because right now we're at the Final Four. We got the Final Four, right?
Fantastic.
Again, why this tournament is so awesome. One and done, young kids. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. The story of the week and the weekend has to be Loyola.
Oh, man.
Has to be.
Yeah, they've just come out of absolutely nowhere. I will say, I picked them in the first round.
I don't think I even did that. But what a story, man. What a story.
And it's not like they're just shooting lights out or whatever.
No.
They are balling on both ends of the court. It's not like they're catching teams on a bad day. They're playing with them. They are playing possession by possession with them. They're playing solid defense, clutch shooting. They make their free throws. They don't mess around. And we can't overlook it. They have Sister Jean.
Whew, I think we're on the good side now. No, I mean, yeah, Sister Jean, whatever. She's on the sideline, okay? She's not playing. She's just a spectator.
You don't know.
Well, they got a funny meme on her she's on the wheelchair and she's like doing a Air Jordan. I mean, it's hilarious.
I can't wait till I wish I don't want them to win their next game for obvious reasons. But if my team ends up losing, I hope they win the championship just so we can see her dab or something at the final game. That'd be awesome.
Funny. I want to see the crying Jordan face on her. That'd be great.
Oh, I do too.
Loyola has a center that, I mean, he was balling against Kansas State. Now, Kansas State doesn't have much of a squad, I think. They really struggle to score points, but Loyola has a very good center that in their next round, I think they're gonna look to him a little more.
Yeah. It should be a really interesting matchup because, again, they play one possession at a time. They don't mess around on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. Yeah. I think we're in for a treat in that first semifinal. Well, one of the semifinals. I don't know if it's the first one or the second one, but it's...
Who are they playing? Refresh my memory.
They are playing the Michigan Wolverines.
Ah, the Big Maize. Big maize.
Maize and blue. I am.
Why are they the big blue? I mean, they hardly wear the blue uniforms.
They do on the road.
They've been on the road this whole time.
No, they actually they were the lower. They were the lower seed. They were the higher seed in both games this weekend. They beat the brakes off of A&M on Thursday, and then, good grief, another one of those nail biters with Florida State. It was a weird game in that, Michigan, both halves were exactly the same. First 10 minutes, Michigan played well. Last 10 minutes, Florida State played better. I thought Florida State was... They were overmatched in the sense that they're athletic, but a lot of turnovers, a lot of silly fouls, just not taking care of the ball in those first 10 minutes of both halves. It cost them. They fell behind. They had to come back. And then Michigan just got cold, but Michigan pulled it out. The
thing that scares me about Michigan is they start slow. They start really slow, and they've really in this whole tournament they've.
Well, but that's not true, right? Because on Thursday, three out of the 4 games. A&M didn't come out of the locker room apparently, and Michigan did.
Yeah.
And so Michigan just ran roughshod over them. And in the Florida State game as well, again, the first 10 minutes they played well. The last 10 minutes of each half. So, and yeah, you're right. In the first 2 rounds, you're absolutely right. They started very slowly, very poorly. It's a little bit scary, and quite frankly, I don't think this is going to sound kind of weird, but I don't think you can do that with Loyola. They turned the screws on Kansas State in a game where they had all the pressure. They had all the pressure, right? Being the 11 seed. They kept turning the screws, and 3 turned into 5, turned into 8, turned into 11, turned into 15, and next thing you know, they're up 20. It's like, holy crap.
And look, we've seen it in the past with a team like Butler, right?
Yeah.
I mean, come out of nowhere and they make some noise.
Well, and this is just kind of the state of college basketball now, right? Because you have so many of these one-and-done kids, there's no veteran leadership, so to speak. There's no, senior leadership, which Michigan has that a little bit, but most teams don't have it. And so you can get a team that maybe is not as talented, can still come in and win, because these young guys, they don't know how to handle the pressure of these big tournaments and whatnot. And so you get these upsets. I think these upsets are going to become more commonplace as we go along because the game seems to be evening out. I mean, it's kind of silly to say that when part of our Elite Eight was Villanova, Kansas, and Duke, right?
Yeah.
Which is the blue bloods of basketball. But I think in the future we're going to see more 11 seeds. And if you think about it, in the Elite Eight we had 2 9s and an 11.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
hardly see that.
Yeah, it wasn't 1 2 3 4 like it usually is.
And not that it would have made a difference, but what the heck was the Florida State coach doing? You're down 4.
Did you see the interviews after
with
the game?
10 seconds left? Yeah, he didn't want to answer the questions because
I don't think he knew. I think he had a brain fart and did not know that there was only 10 seconds left, or that they were only down 4.
Wait a second. You're the coach of a basketball team in the biggest game of these kids' lives, and probably yours, because I've never heard of you. How do you not know there's 10 seconds and you're down by 4 and you should foul?
Yeah,
how do you?
I agree with you. It's absolutely his responsibility, and even the players, right? It's their responsibility to know what
his assistants.
Right, someone, because it happened when the Michigan player got the ball. It happened right in front of their bench.
Yeah,
and the guy is standing there with his hands up, not fouling, and the bench is not. No one on the bench is like jumping up and down, yelling, foul him, foul him. Look, I agree with you that it was a major gaffe. But I blame Leonard Hamilton for sure. But again, it's easy for us to sit in our living rooms, not having done anything over the last 2 hours, and criticize an 18-year-old kid. I personally have always fouled with 10 seconds left down 4. But I can understand someone not doing it. I can understand. The moment is big sometimes for some people. Hey, you had those Michigan kids missing quite a few free throws there towards the end, when the lights get bright and it gets hot. I mean, think about the pressure when we're on this podcast. I mean,
I have no pressure, bro. I'm cool as the other side of the pillow, man. I'm good.
Ice in them veins.
I'm good.
Yeah. Well, that's because we don't have bright lights in here.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But if we did, I mean, you just never know. Now, I agree.
There's no buts. I can't defend that at all. There's just no defending that. I mean, you got to take a chance. Northern Iowa was up 12 points with 35 seconds left in the 2016 tournament against A&M.
Yeah.
And look what happened there. Virginia was down, 6 or 5 earlier this year?
Yeah,
I mean,
no, absolutely the right thing to do was to foul and extend the game. I agree. And furthermore, this is my thought. When you're in the tournament, if I'm the coach of a team playing an Elite Eight game, I don't care if there's 1 second left and you're down 5, I'm going to foul. I'm going to play until the buzzer. I owe it to my team. I owe it to those seniors. Look, they make the game 40 minutes for a reason.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care. I don't know what's going to happen. So I keep fouling and I keep progressing towards possibly getting a shot to tie the game up.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about a one and done situation, for some of those seniors, it's not just the end of their basketball, their college basketball career. For a lot of them, it's the end of their career. They're going to go off and be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or whatever it is that they're going to be, because they're not going to play basketball professionally, and you owe it to them to coach until the buzzer.
Well, they may have a new coach come next season, because I don't see. I mean, that guy should get the boot.
That's kind of unfair. I mean, he's done a lot with that team. That team is, when
Well, yeah,
was the last time you saw
one
Florida State in the Elite Eight?
No one expected them to make it this far, but still. But anyway, let's move on to the East bracket, right? We had we had
in the East, had Nova and Texas Tech.
That's right. Which you, by the way, were very high on Texas Tech, and
yep,
I commend you, because I mean they made it that far. They
played Nova well.
Yeah, they played Nova well, but they could not rebound.
Yeah, well,
I mean they really. Nova got so many offensive chances and second chance points that I don't know what Nova doesn't have a big man, I guess. I mean, they were pretty ghost in the paint. No, and Nova is.
I tell you, we talked about this before the tournament started when the bracket first came out, and I told you, to me, Villanova looks damn near like an NBA team. I mean, they look the part, and. Spoiler alert, in spite of the fact that I'm a huge Michigan fan, I think Villanova's going to win this tournament. I said it before the tournament started, and I'll say it again. I think they are the most cohesive, best basketball team out there. They've proven it through 2 weekends, and I think they're going to prove it next weekend again. You brought up a good point last week talking about Texas Tech is tough enough to play with them and physically play with them, but for the lack of size, they really hung in the game and made it a good game. They were only down 5 really late in the game, and then it kind of got away from them. So I thought that they were really did a good job, and impressive season on their part. But again, Villanova, man.
Sounds to me that you don't want to place the jinx on your team, and you're just trying to downplay.
No, you got to be. You got to be honest,
Yeah, no, absolutely. No,
I'm a huge Michigan fan, and I'll be rooting for them like hell. But if I had to bet the farm, I might have to put my dollars on the Wildcats again.
I hear you. I can't be mad at you for that. And then out of the Midwest, you had quite the game.
Wow!
Right, Kansas,
that
Duke,
was awesome.
Which, by the way, I got Kansas.
I picked Duke. I had Kansas Duke in the Elite Eight.
Did you?
Yes. But I picked Duke.
That was a great game, man. And we got some overtime in there, and then that guy Newman for Kansas was just balling. I think he scored all the points in overtime for that team.
Yeah. He had damn near all the points.
Yeah.
That was a great game to watch. It was back and forth. I don't think the lead ever got above
7.
7? Was that the largest lead?
Kansas had the largest lead of the game.
It was 7. Just they went back and forth. I mean, it lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
You know, you got your blue bloods, your college basketball powerhouses meeting in the Elite Eight for a shot to go to the Final Four. And, man, they delivered. It was a lot of fun to watch this afternoon, and I really enjoyed it. Can't wait to see them with Villanova. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. So
I think it will.
You want to make some predictions? We only got 3 games left. Surely we can make some predictions now.
Well, I mean, I'm going to stick with Kansas. They've got me this far, so I got them edging out Nova.
Yeah. What about on the other side?
And I can't go against Michigan right now. I think they have the attitude, they have the defense, they have the coach who's been there, and I think they'll take care of Loyola. I think that'll be one of the games will be lopsided. I'll say that one's the lopsided one.
And then for the championship game, you would have Michigan and Kansas.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Sorry, bro. Kansas all the way.
Kansas all the way.
Kansas.
I'll start with Michigan Loyola. I think Michigan's a better team, and they play defense. And when you play good defense, I think it's going to take you a long way, especially when you have more talent.
But Loyola's going to win.
And I think Michigan's going to beat Loyola, and that's not just amazing blue blood running through me. That's an honest opinion.
Fair
On
enough.
the other side, I've been high on Villanova all year. Still high on them, and I think they're going to beat Kansas. And then I've got Villanova, Michigan.
Tell us, Ed. Tell us.
Michigan's going to beat the brakes off of Villanova.
You heard it here first.
That's right.
You heard it here first.
No, I mean, look, my heart and soul will be rooting for Michigan. Heck, I may hop in a car and drive over to San Antonio and go try to get a ticket. But
You're not too far away.
no, I'm not. I would really like to. And I would love to see him win, of course. But again, I think Villanova is the best basketball team in the country. And quite frankly, I'm not going to go so far as to say I don't think it's even close. But I think there's a marked difference in how good they are compared to Kansas, compared to Duke, compared to Michigan, compared to Xavier and Virginia and Michigan State and Purdue and everyone else that we talked about, all Arizona, all those teams. I just think they're just a notch above, and they're playing at a different level, and they've proved it the last 2 weekends. And I don't think we're going to see anything different.
Yeah, they made like 2 straight or 3 straight Final Fours.
Is
Two,
it three?
I think two.
Two.
Right?
Did
Because they won 2 years ago.
They won. Did they make the Final Four last year?
I believe so.
That would be 3 in a row. That would be
right.
something
Yeah,
else.
with this one 3, correct.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah. No, they're a fantastic program. I can't wait for next weekend.
Oh man.
I cannot. Hey,
what is it, Saturday?
But Saturday is the semifinals. Monday's the championship game. But the school who had the best weekend is still Michigan, because the Michigan hockey team made it to the Frozen Four, which is hockey's equivalent of the Final Four.
Right.
So we have 2 teams playing in national semifinals. So very exciting. Got to watch quite a bit of that game today against Boston University, and it was good. Michigan pretty much controlled the game.
Sweet.
So it was nice. They were the 2 seed in their region, and they ended up winning the region and headed to the Frozen Four. Can't wait.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
By the way, can you wear a different color shirt next time?
Why?
Well, because I'm wearing a blue shirt.
Yeah, but mine's not like yours. Yours is got a
But
bunch of
still,
writing
it's
on
got
it.
blue sleeves.
So
Sounds like I
what?
said Bruce Lee.
Hey, you ever see check out this company, Roots of Fight.
Mm-hmm.
They all these really cool T-shirts with fighters, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Bruce Lee. I mean, just all kinds of different fighters. Fighter
Interesting.
shirts. Yeah, they're pretty neat. I'm all about fighters. Speaking of fighters, real quick, Canelo and Triple G.
Is it gonna happen?
This is what I don't understand. Why? First of all, why would you go into a volunteer anti-doping program? And 2, well, I guess I know why, right? For the publicity of saying that you're clean. And the fact that there's no teeth to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's found guilty or he's found to have clenbuterol in his system, and nothing happens. Because it's voluntary. What is the point? Have you ever taken a test and didn't care about the score? Right?
No.
I mean, come on.
Hey, I'm going to voluntarily rob this bank. Don't prosecute me.
Yeah, I mean, why would you take, I'm going to, so when I got my driver's license, is this a volunteer thing? Yes. Okay, well, I volunteer and I go smack up all the cars and they give me a license anyway. I mean, what the hell? What is the point of that? And here's the other thing. You don't follow combat sports as much as I do, but in MMA, the UFC does very strict USADA testing. And there have been guys that have popped positive for clenbuterol, and they've come up with the same excuse: tainted meat from Mexico and China. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm going to be a bit of a jerk here. But if I am a Mexican combat sports athlete,
right,
like Canelo, like the guys in the UFC, or I am a Chinese athlete, these countries are known to have tainted meat.
Right.
I mean, steak for breakfast, steak for lunch, steak for dinner. What are you going to have for dessert? Ice cream or steak? Steak. I mean, what the hell? First of all, it's going to taste good, right? It's steak, and you get the added benefit, and then you get off. Because in the UFC, they've actually gotten off because it's tainted meat. Look, man, that's so. I don't get it. I don't get it. I inadvertently got drunk on NyQuil, officer, so you can't prosecute me for DWI. I mean, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't get it either. I personally think Canelo's scared of Triple G.
Not if Adelaide Bird gets to judge the fight.
Nah, there's no way. Did he get suspended, or is it like a soft suspension? We're suspending you until 2 weeks before the fight starts.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think he's getting a suspension, like he's getting like a 2-month suspension, but the fight is 3 months away.
Golly,
it is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Well, that's Canelo for you.
Well, I was looking forward to that fight, and
I
don't know it's gonna have as much juice as.
No, it may not, but it's going to be. It's the best fight that we're going to see aside from Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Provided Anthony Joshua holds up his end with Parker. But look, Canelo.
Yeah. Whatever.
And his response to the whole thing was he's moving his training camp out of Mexico. Damn, I got caught with the tainted meat. Let's move our training camp to Las Vegas. Let's move our training camp to Beijing. We get more tainted meat. Why is he moving his training camp to China? I wonder. Anyway, so that's the news of boxing this week. That's pretty sad.
That is sad.
But Anthony Joshua and Parker.
When is that fight happening?
I think it's next weekend.
Oh, man.
And then the weekend after that, Khabib, I can't say his last name, against Tony Ferguson in the UFC. What a hell of a fight. They've
heavyweight, middleweight,
lightweights.
Lightweight.
155 pounders. And they've tried to get this fight 3 times, and someone's had to drop out because of injury or missing weight or whatever. And I'm telling you, it happens all the time, right? Not all the time, but there's always a fight that falls off a card. And of course, every other time it was for, just really for the number 1 contender spot. But now it's for an interim title, which is going to become the actual title whenever the fight starts, because they're going to strip Conor McGregor. And I'm telling you, I never get upset when a fight gets canceled. If this fight gets canceled, I'm going to throw myself on the floor, hold my breath. And
like a big baby.
Yes, I'm going to go down kicking and screaming.
Throw a temper tantrum.
It's going to drive me absolutely bonkers. And then also on that fight is Joanna, used to be champion. I can't say her last name. She's Polish.
Oh, I thought that was her last name.
No. No one can say it. So when she was champion, they called her Joanna champion. But she's not champion anymore. You can't say that. And then her against Rose Namajunas, and that's going to be another just barn burner. That card is on April 7th. Is going to be fantastic. I know you don't do a whole lot of the UFC stuff.
I don't. Not too much of it. Every now and then.
Yeah, well, that one, you and I are going to have to go out and partake of a beverage and watch a little fight.
Definitely down for that. The beverage part, of course.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
I'll go positive running.
Shoot.
Okay.
Let's see. Well, let's hear. Well, see and hear.
Only on YouTube. Please subscribe. Positive running. Okay, so most of the positive running segments have been about getting stuff done and making your goals and going out there and achieving them. This time I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm going to tell you to take care of your body. A lot of times, we get into these longer term goals, and we day one we get off the couch and we decide we're going to do this, and we head down that path full bore, and sometimes our body's not ready and we get injured, and we're like, well, we're gonna tough guy and plow through, and things end up getting worse. You have to take care of your body. It's the only one you get. I'm from last week's episode, which people thought was kind of amusing, the inner drill sergeant comment. Obviously, that I'm very focused, right? To push through and to make my body go towards the goals that I want to achieve and set forth for myself. But that doesn't mean you don't listen to your body. It's the only one you get, so whatever those goals are, you can't do it without your body. So it's kind of a partnership. The mind is certainly the boss, but your body has to come along for the ride because it's got to do everything that your mind is asking it to do. So you have to take care of your body. What does that mean? Well, certainly you push yourself when you're tired. You push yourself when you're achy and maybe a little sore. But, sharp pain is a different story. Additionally, you take care of yourself with the food you eat. You can't go out and do a bunch of tequila shots and then expect to go out and run 10 miles the next day. It's just, it's possible, but it's, not good, especially if it's, down here in the South where it's 80 degrees and 100% humidity. You run the risk of really hurting yourself permanently. And so you have to be careful with that kind of stuff. So certainly from a nutrition perspective, you got to clean things up. You got to eat a little bit better, and no one's saying that you have to be, very super strict. Certainly depends on the level of what you're trying to achieve. But if you're a first timer going out there trying to run your first whatever, right? Watch what you eat a little bit. Don't obviously cut back on the alcohol, and no one's saying you can't have pizza, but you probably shouldn't eat an entire pizza the night before the race or the night before a training run. Things like that. So you start to watch what you eat. The other thing that people tend to forget is, and I'm kind of guilty of this myself, with a job and a family and extracurricular activities and stuff, I'm go. Sleep and rest is important for your body. It is part of the repair process that your body goes through. You have to take care of it in that regard. You have to let it have its sleep and rest. I understand that you want to do, you've got responsibilities and you've got fun stuff, and now you've set this other goal, and so it can be tough, but you have to let your body rest. And, again, no one's saying you have to sleep 15 hours a day. Quite frankly, I have no idea how anyone would sleep 15 hours a day, but, you got to get some rest. So, take care of your body. It is the vessel that you will ride to your success. And so, you have to take care of it in a lot of ways. Obviously you're going to push yourself and your mind is going to run the show, so to speak, but your body's got to come along for the ride. And I would imagine that it's really not that much different when you have goals that involve strength and conditioning in that way, right?
No, it's pretty much the same. You gotta watch what you eat. There's really no other way to it, right? If it's part of if you have a goal, and it goes back to just being mentally strong, man. You just gotta be able to know when not to eat that juicy Whataburger that I just ate. But yeah, no, look, your body is what keeps you going, right? So it's kind of like a car, right? You gotta take care of that engine. You gotta keep the maintenance up, do the oil change. So it's the same way, man. I couldn't agree anymore with that.
Yeah. take care of your body and let your mind drive, let your mind lead, let your mind push, and take care of the body along the way. And again, you'll achieve great things. Once again, we talked about our contact info earlier. I don't know if it comes through in these podcasts at all, but I love talking about running and I love talking about training. Quite frankly, I love talking about training more than I do about races. To me, I love the grind and I love the process, and that's why I choose to run longer distances that I can't, I can't, I mean, some people do, but I can't go out and run a marathon every week. For me, it's a process. It's a 3-month process. Sometimes it's a 6-month process. It just depends, right? And I love the grind of training and getting to that point and trying to peak for one particular day to try to do something special within the realm of my possibilities. And so I absolutely love it. And I will talk to people about training nonstop. I love this stuff. So if you have any questions out there, please feel free to contact me at eMontana21 on Twitter, or you can reach me through the show's email at positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. Because I love talking about this stuff. I will answer your questions. To me, it's fascinating stuff. I'm constantly trying to get as much as I can out of this old body and tweaking things and trying to get just a little bit better every day. Every day.
Speaking of racing, Formula One has got to be 10 times better than NASCAR. It's way better. The season started today. I went and had breakfast with mom and dad and watched some races.
About that.
And watched some races, and God, cars are only making left turns in NASCAR as opposed to 10, 15, 20 curves in Formula One. The cars are much more better looking.
They are better looking.
I mean, I could literally slap a few Home Depot and Lowe's stickers on my Honda Accord and go out there and it's a NASCAR. I mean,
yeah. Well, my problem with Formula One is they're not all racing on a level playing field, right? Like, there are certain cars that are on steroids, for lack of a better term, right? It's all about the engine, so it's all about the engineers,
right?
And to me, I mean, the driver does some stuff too, but don't get me wrong. But again, it's the engineering is so much more important than the driver, and that to me kind of loses it. And it's a little bit less of a team, or not less of a team, but it's a team of guys sitting behind a computer, and okay.
Yeah, but they're just there tweaking it. The drivers go out there and do what they got to do.
But I mean, look.
Plus,
you can get 20 guys who are gonna. NASCAR does it every week, right? They both get 20 or 30 guys that are willing to wreck their lives driving as fast as they can. So the drivers aren't all that much different. The difference in NASCAR, and again, it depends on what you like. I happen to like both. I don't think one is any better than the other. I actually think they're different. And so it's almost like you can't compare them, right?
Sure you can.
NASCAR, everyone has the same car. And the only variables that you get are you have to figure out the fastest line around the track. You have to figure out tire pressure. You have to figure out your struts and the pressure that you put on them, and pit stops. And so it's a technical race in a different way.
Right.
Just because you don't have to make turns doesn't mean it's not hard.
Well, I don't have to sit on a beautiful Sunday afternoon during baseball season for 6 hours watching NASCAR when I got 60 laps, 65 laps in 2 hours, and that's it. Boom, back.
That is something that Formula One does better.
And listen, these are cars, okay? There's no reason why NASCAR should be allowed to get a rolling start at the green light, okay? In Formula One, the cars are sitting on the grid.
Yeah.
And when at a standstill, and when the light turns green, boom, there's a lot of action going on. These are cars. Let's see what they can do without getting a little head start.
I don't prescribe to one being any better than the other. I think they're slightly different, and I think they're both good, and I like them both.
You've been in Texas too long, but that's okay. Hey,
have you ever been to a NASCAR event?
No, I have not.
I've never been to Formula One. I have been to NASCAR.
Yeah, good time.
Oh my God, what a good time! I mean, it's an
Crazy.
entire weekend, right? Because
Oh, yeah.
the main NASCAR race is on Sunday, but they've got kind of like the minor leagues of NASCAR on Saturday, and they've got the truck race on Friday nights. People get there like on Wednesday.
Oh wow!
And they camp out. I went to Lowe's Motor Speedway in North Carolina, and so outside of the track, the parking lot it's as big as the stadium. I mean, it's as big as the racetrack. It's humongous, and people are RVs, and it is just that is the best tailgate in sports right there.
Yeah,
is NASCAR. It's a good time.
I bet it can get crazy.
Oh, it is nuts. It is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
That's
I really
cool.
like it.
That's cool.
I really want to do Formula One, but I don't want to do Formula One here. I want to do it somewhere in Europe.
Australia.
Or Australia, yeah. I heard the one here, I think it's in Austin.
Austin, yeah.
I heard it's not...
The one in Mexico is real nice. Actually, they all are, man. I mean, I mean, if you look at the tracks and the scenery, I mean, it's pretty neat, man. I like it.
Yeah.
But hey, let's go on to a little. Let's stay with basketball, but in the NBA.
Well, we're not staying with basketball because
Sure we are.
were in NASCAR and Formula One, so we're going back to basketball. English is hard.
It was. It's definitely my second language.
You know, that's an interesting story.
Is it our second language?
I don't know. Well, for me, it is my second language. I guess for you, it is too.
Because in the house, our parents spoke to us in Spanish.
I didn't learn
They
English.
didn't know a lick of English.
Well, by the time you came around, they knew quite a bit of English.
Maybe dad, not mom.
Yeah, that's probably true. But yeah, I didn't learn English until I was 3.
Damn.
You know, one of the funniest things. I've never even really asked mom and dad this, but I'm very curious, and I don't know why it's never really come up. But so our parents are from Argentina, and my mom and dad were here for 6 months before I was born, and so those first couple of years, you know, they're working hard or whatever, trying to, you know, make ends meet, live the American dream or whatever. And when I was 3, they went back to Argentina to visit. We came back, and the woman who was taking care of me was gone. So they ended up, and this is the part I don't understand, because back then they did not know English.
Right.
I ended up being babysat when I was 3 by an African American family. Mrs. Patterson, Doris Patterson. I love you, Mrs. Patterson. She's passed away since, but and they were as American as it gets.
Yeah.
You know, very, very nice family. How the hell they brokered that deal to have me babysat every day? I'll never know. Like, I'm guessing. And first of all, how'd they even find the lady? I don't know. I mean, she lived close to where they worked, so did they run into her one day?
Damn, bro, they just didn't care where they left you.
Yeah, no, they just left you wherever. I mean, don't get me wrong, she was a really nice lady, but I mean, how did that deal work, right? When you don't know English, did they hold me up in front of me? Want to take care of this? And she said, "Oh, he's cute," and took him, and took me from him, and they were like, "And we'll pay you $20 a week for it." And she said, "Oh, great, thanks." I mean, how the hell does that happen?
I don't know.
I guess
we'll have to ask a question.
That's our assignment for the week. Is we'll have to figure. Mrs. Patterson, Mrs. Doris Patterson, super nice lady. Her husband, Mark Patterson, he was never around. The guy worked constantly. And she had a son and a daughter. And I think at the time they were probably like 19, 18 years old, right? So they were. And Mark Patterson Jr., was a humongous man. I mean, he was huge. He was every bit of 6'4", 6'5", I think is what my parents said. But just as nice as can be. And, to this day, I remember them and I love them. And I wish they were around and I could communicate with Mrs. Patterson. Super sweet lady.
So on top of them leaving you with a complete stranger, they were disappointed and then they made me. Second time's the charm.
Yeah, you notice they didn't have any more. It went so well the first time, they said, well, we'll try it again. And after that second time, they said, oh my God, what have we done? We don't know what we're doing.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. All right, let's get into some NBA, man.
Back to the NBA.
Back for the first time?
Back to basketball.
So, what an interesting last 2 weeks, man. Because it just seems like the Cavs and LeBron, they made a big trade right before the trade deadline.
Yeah.
And they, we all thought, well, they got younger. How is this going to work out? They kind of, went through a few bad games there after the break. But as much as I get on LeBron, holy cow.
He's playing ball, man.
That guy is playing the most amazing basketball that I've seen in a while. Yeah. He always has, but the way he has taken this team and allowing them to gel and just his just leadership is just off the chains, man. He's got a young team. They're listening to him. They're following his lead and what a true leader is supposed to do, what a real MVP is supposed to do. And these last few games, they got 79 points put on them by the Raptors, who out of nowhere, everyone's high on the Raptors. They're the number 1 seed, and they completely pooped the bed in the second half, and the Cavs come back and win.
Yeah. Yeah, look, maybe this was the formula all along for LeBron. I'm still not sold in the sense that I don't know how this is going to translate, because playoff basketball is different than the regular season. And I just don't know, I still believe that the 3-star formula is the best formula, the Three Amigos way, right?
Okay.
Obviously, he's going to try something different here, and it looks like, holy crap, maybe this is what it should have been all along, is LeBron and the Cavaliers. Which almost sounds like a 70s soul group or something. but I'm not jumping on yet. I agree with you. I think LeBron's done an amazing job. His leadership early on with this young core of talent has been very impressive. I just don't know that when push comes to shove in the playoffs, is he going to be able to carry an entire team? Wait
a second.
He's carried teams before with minimal talent, but it's never turned into an NBA championship.
Dude, he carried the team in the finals, averaged a triple-double. Tell me, give me another team in the East that is going to challenge LeBron and the rest of the Cavs.
Admittedly, in the East it looks good, but it's not. I don't think it's going to produce an NBA championship is my problem. I just don't think. I don't think the one superstar model works. And I think when push comes to shove in the playoffs, someone is going to figure it out, and he is not going to be able to do it by himself, because the rest of those lights will be shut off, and that's a problem.
Well, I think this might be the year, because in the West, you got the Warriors, who are all of a sudden got the injury bug.
Yeah.
That it's not looking good for them. Curry's now out until at least the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, they're gonna be the number 2 seed. So they'll, as of now, they'll play, I think, the Timberwolves, they said, but Curry, they still have Durant, they'll have Klay Thompson, they'll have Draymond Green. Curry is the engine that makes that team go.
I agree with you. However, I don't care about the Warriors. What I care about, if we're talking NBA championship, is I care about the Houston Rockets. I think the Houston Rockets are coming out of the West.
Think so?
And I think they will absolutely steamroll anyone from the East. I mean, they will absolutely flatten. They will flatten the Cavaliers. They will flatten the Raptors. If they made an Eastern Conference All-Star team, they might flatten that too. This Houston team is for real. This Houston team is on a mission, and if CP3 stays healthy, right, because that's always the question mark, Him and Harden
And
together.
if he shows up in the playoffs, because he's been pretty shaky in the playoffs.
He doesn't have to show up that much, man.
And Harden
can run it.
Yeah. In the regular season and against the number 8 seed, Harden can run it. Let's see how you play when you get deep into the playoffs. And D'Antoni's the coach. D'Antoni's the coach. He is not to be trusted.
Go look at their record against the Warriors. And go look at their record against the Spurs. And go look at their record against the Cavaliers.
Well, the Portland Trailblazers have a great record against all those teams and play well against the Rockets, but that doesn't mean that they're going to win.
But obviously they're not a good team. Otherwise, they'd have 60 wins as well.
They are a good team. They're
not that good.
They're the number 3 team in the West.
No, they're not.
Sure. Who is?
Isn't Minnesota? No, Minnesota.
Minnesota's like the 7th.
What are the standings in the top? What are the standings right now?
All right, hold on.
Yeah, let's see. Cause
thank God for a smartphone, because you're not smart at all. Jeez, Louise. Nah, it's. I'm telling you, the Portland Trailblazers have been playing lights out.
Yeah, and that may be. But I still think the Rockets are.
3.
I think the Rockets are far and away your best team.
Bro, they're the number 3 team in the West.
I don't care.
They would have to play.
They are 14 games behind the Rockets.
It doesn't matter.
No, it does matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
No.
You know why?
But it does, because when you win 14 games less, it means you're not that damn good.
But when those wins come against Golden State and San Antonio and Houston, and you play them well even when you lose, then it matters. Because they're going to get to the second round.
No, but it doesn't matter, because you said something key right there. Even when they lose.
Yeah,
they lose.
Right, but I mean...
They lose against those big teams.
But not always.
Which is why they're
not always.
14 games behind them.
Not always.
No, not always. Only when they play.
No, not always. I mean, they've beaten Houston this year.
Once.
Okay, they can beat Houston.
How many times has Houston beaten
They
them?
can beat Golden State. They can beat Oklahoma City.
But
they can beat New Orleans.
Alex, you're being silly here.
No.
Portland can... Of course they can beat them. But can they beat them 4 times in 7 games?
Sure they can.
Can they beat them on the road?
Sure they can. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why having 14 more wins doesn't mean nothing when you get into the playoffs.
The Rockets will roll the Trailblazers. If they meet in the if they meet in the Western Conference Finals, the Rockets will roll the Trailblazers in 5. It'll be that simple.
I disagree with you.
100%. I think you're nuts. Look, in the West, it is the Golden State and Rockets. And
okay.
Golden State is just... I don't know if they're just not interested, if it's the injuries. I'm not quite sure what it is. But I think the Rockets just look unbelievable. And I think they're going to... I think right now, if the season ended today and we started the playoffs, I think the Rockets win easily.
I don't know.
With the Warriors being dinged up the way they are, having to go through 3 rounds, and I think the Rockets will steamroll anybody in the West. I agree, Portland's good, blah, 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 but they get into a series and they're going to get rolled.
I disagree.
You'll see.
Houston's going to flame out, and they're going to fall short, bro.
Dude, Harden is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, he can flop his way through the whole West, and I mean, whatever, man. I don't trust that guy.
He's amazing. Yeah,
he's all right. He's all right. So is that so?
The
hold
guy
on.
is just balling out of his mind.
So is that your MVP? Of the
right
league?
now? Yeah.
Think so?
Yeah. I mean,
he'll get it.
LeBron has had. If we're gonna look at the entire season and we're gonna look at consistency and we're not gonna put labels on names, right? We're not gonna go by popularity contest. Harden has played at an extremely high level all year long. There have been no dips.
He should have won last year.
LeBron's had a few drop-offs here and there. He's playing great now. I'm not saying he's not. Curry obviously has missed a lot of games, this, that, and the other thing. Westbrook is not, he's still trying to, that team still seems to be trying to figure it out with the changes in the roster. It seems like all year that's all they've done is try to figure it out.
What about Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis is great, but again, not playing at the level that James Harden.
Wait, he's not playing at the level, or the team is not playing at the level? Because Anthony Davis has some. I mean,
He's
if we're
got great
talking
numbers.
exactly, so when you say level, you're saying numbers.
That's part of the whole thing, right? It's part of the package. Are you leading your team to wins? It's not.
Well, he's leading the team, but the rest of the team is garbage.
But okay, but then you're not.
That's
doing,
not his fault.
But then you're not doing as much as Harden is.
That's not his fault.
If we're both averaging 30 points a game on our respective teams, but I am leading my team to 20 more wins than you're leading yours, then I'm doing something in my 30 points, in my leadership, in the locker room, that is making me a better player than you in the MVP race.
I don't know about that.
Again, Anthony Davis is fantastic.
And he lost Boogie. And he's still putting up triple doubles with blocks.
He is having an amazing season.
He really is.
He really is. He's going to be fun to watch because he's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And who knows what they're going to do with that team, right? What they're going to put around him. But he's fantastic. So just like the Villanova comments earlier, man, there's teams that are just at a different level, and I think the Rockets are just at a different level right now. And I think James Harden is as well, and it's just I have a lot of respect and admiration for a lot of those other players that we mentioned and what they've done in teams and whatnot. Certainly the Warriors, when you're looking at from a team perspective, what Anthony Davis has done has been phenomenal. Kyrie Irving's another one. What he's done has been phenomenal.
That's a huge loss too, man. He's going to be out for a while.
Yeah,
and
that's a problem.
Yeah,
that's a problem for that team because he very much is. He is more of the engine.
Yeah.
For the Celtics than Curry is for the Warriors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because Curry has a lot of help and Kyrie doesn't. And
so maybe he should have taken that surgery at the very beginning when he was maybe.
That's always a tough call, right?
Oh yeah. When you're an athlete, you want to go, man.
Yeah, and surgery is a definite. When you have one of those injuries, surgery's definitely out.
Right.
Whereas the rehab process, well, maybe I'll make it back in 2 weeks and I can move on with this and. That's a tough one. It's a tough one.
So how cool for Houston, man. They just won the World Series, and now the Rockets are playing unbelievable basketball, although I don't think they're going to win it all. But they are going to be... they're going to have a chance to win. And,
absolutely.
How cool for the city of Houston, man.
Absolutely.
To get another championship, maybe. Huh? That's pretty cool.
That would be phenomenal.
Yes, sir.
That would be phenomenal. Well... There's only 10 seconds left in this podcast. We're down 4. Screw it.
We're not going to win.
We're not going to pod anymore. That's it. We give up. We could foul and come up with another piece for you, but nah, we're not going to. We're just going to stand here and let the clock trickle out.
Well, I don't know about you. I'll close out the Positive Sports Podcast my damn self.
Oh, no. We have one more foul to give.
One more.
Shout out.
My, I keep saying shutout. Baseball is very close. That's why. It's only like 3 days away. My shout out this week is going to be one of my own. And not because she is one of my own, but it is to my daughter. She's 8 years old. I just put her into a soccer academy. Uh-huh. She played soccer on an organized team probably like 2 years ago. She kind of didn't want to do it. We started practicing again. And she kind of started mentioning that she wants to play. So I'm like, all right, well, let me put you in an academy where you can kind of learn the game, learn the fundamentals, because daddy's no good at soccer. So we went out there today. It's a 10-week program, an hour and a half every Sunday. And she was as happy as can be. Oh, she was ready to go. And about 5 minutes in, Daddy, I quit. And so, I had to give her the father pep talk. And you know what, man? She made me real proud. She went back out there. I told her there's no quit in this family, and she went out there and she had a good time. She made an effort. She had fun. She finished what she started.
That's awesome.
And so I commend her for that because, at 8 years old, everybody's new. You don't know everybody there. She was like, I want to play with my old team.
Right.
And, she kind of felt outside. She was outside of the box. She was left out. but she went in there with a positive attitude, I believe.
Excellent.
And she must be watching our podcast or something. And she went out there and she finished. She finished the session. So shout outs to you, Brooklyn, for finishing what you started and keeping a positive attitude and having fun.
That's awesome, man. I love to hear that. That's great. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make my way out there to go watch her practice sometime. I'll tell you what. Honestly, if I had to guess, though, soccer's not her thing. That child is hilarious. One of these days, she's gonna be sitting in that chair doing this Positive Sports podcast with her uncle because you're a dunce. And she's smart and funny.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get replaced. If we ever put her in front of this camera, I think we're both screwed.
Yeah.
We both might be out of a job.
Yeah, you're not lying. She calls me old and fat, so...
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Good time.
My shout-out goes out to Julie Millen and Emma Jeter. So here in Texas, this is going to be a bit of a story. So here in Texas, in March of every year, they do something called the Texas Independence Relay. What it is a 200-mile race from Gonzales, Texas, to East Houston to the San Jacinto Monument. And I think they modified it this year so that it didn't finish there, it finished somewhere downtown. 200 miles. And the rules are there's 40 legs, each one roughly 5 miles or so. Some a little bit longer, some a little bit shorter. And you can make a team of up to 12 people, right? So you run 3 times, and it's a continuous race. And it takes most teams 36 hours, right? They start early Saturday morning, they finish about midday on Sunday. You know, you get a bunch of really fast guys and gals, and they'll finish it in a little less than 24 hours, right? Well, Julie Millen and Emma Jeter decided that they would do it by themselves. So they have a brand called Jules Athletics. And I don't know all the details, but Julie and Emma, they call themselves the Jules Athletics models. And, it's athletic wear for women mostly. And they do a few of these events where they do some kind of fundraising for children who are battling cancer. So they decided the two of them would each do the 200 miles. So they ran together. They started earlier, right? Because they're doing it by themselves, for Christ's sakes. So they started they started on Thursday, and I saw them this morning come through Katy. They were probably about 50 miles from being done, and they finished. Well, they may finish tomorrow, I think. Finally,
Jeez.
But they were all smiles, happy as can be, raising money. So between the two of them, it's going to be 400 miles. So they decided they would raise money for 4 kids who are struggling with cancer. I don't remember their names. I apologize. But if you go to julesathletics.com, JOULES athletics.com, and just bump around their website, check out their merchandise, and check out what they're doing, because they don't. This is one example of what they do. They do other running events where they go out and raise money, typically for kids. Just a fantastic organization. I was so blown away this morning. I went to one of the exchange points, and they came through, and they were all smiles, happy as can be. One of them is from Michigan, saw me with a Michigan shirt, and we started talking about that a little bit. Her husband was there, and a bunch of friends supporting her. But really just a fantastic story. I didn't know about it until this morning, honestly. But just, again, what the human spirit can do when you try to do something positive, not just for yourself, but even for somebody else. So my hat's off, my shout out to Julie Millen and Emma Jeter. You ladies are rock stars and heroes in my book. I love what you did for those children. I love what your organization does for children in general. And really just fantastic. A tip of the cap.
That's awesome. I don't think I've walked 200 miles in my lifetime.
Probably, yeah. That's a lot of freaking miles and to go, and they just go nonstop.
That's crazy.
And their attitude this morning was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like they were happy.
Yeah.
I like to run, but 150 miles in, I'd be hella grouchy.
Yeah.
So hey, we have a surprise for all the fans of the Positive Sports Podcast. He doesn't know about it, but he's in the surprise as well.
Oh damn!
So we're gonna surprise the fans.
Well, I'm a fan right
Ready?
now. I'm a fan.
No, you're part of the surprise.
All right.
You don't know what it is?
No, I have no idea.
I didn't tell you? I guess I forgot.
No, you did not. No, you did not tell me.
Of course I told you.
No, you did not tell me.
But you're on board, right?
I'm on board with. What are you talking about? Hold on. Am I gonna get him a sandwich?
No.
Damn.
No sandwich involved. But you're in on it.
Okay.
We do these podcasts once a week. We have a special podcast coming midweek. Our 2018 Major League Baseball preview. We're huge baseball fans. We're going to talk all kinds of baseball middle of the week, right before the season starts. We'll give you our insights into who we like, who we don't like, our predictions for all of the divisions, our predictions for the playoffs, and our predictions for a World Series champion. We're going to break down our 2018 MLB season, which is right around the corner. Starts on Thursday. Yes. I can't wait. I think I'm going to play hooky from work because it's opening day.
That's what you do.
That's what you do. It's opening day. So we'll have that special treat for you in the middle of the week. Look for it. For you subscribers, look for it on your inbox. If you're not a subscriber, go to YouTube. Subscribe.
Hit that button.
Or if you like to listen to us on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play, whatever medium you choose, hook it up. Subscribe to the Positive Sports Podcast so that you can check out that 2018. I can't believe I didn't tell you.
I can't. It's a brain fart.
Whatever.
But the hairs on my arms just stood up, and I'm like a porcupine because I can't wait.
We're doing it. I can't wait either. I love baseball. I love the Major League Baseball season. I can't wait to talk baseball. With that said, if you have any thoughts about the 2018 Major League Baseball season, if you have any thoughts about the NCAA Tournament, if you have any thoughts about sports, if you have any thoughts about Julie and Emma and Jules Athletics, if you have any thoughts about my brother, if you have any thoughts at all and you want to share them with us, there are several ways you can do that. If you want to go directly to the show, you can do so. positivesports10@gmail.com. That's positivesports10@gmail.com. Reach the show that way. Or, hey, you can reach out directly to me if you want to just talk running, keep strength training boy out of it. You just want to talk running, you can reach me at eMontana21 on Twitter. I'll be more than glad to talk a little running with you. How about if they want to talk to you?
Don't be a leader. Be a follower. Follow me on Twitter at Brooklyn Gaucho.
That's right. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the favorite part of the show. Ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.